Never buy fresh herbs again. 5 bottles, a cup of water. That's it. In the next 11 minutes, I'll show you 5 kitchen herbs you can root in plain water. No soil, no garden, no experience. Each one responds completely differently to the exact same setup. And one popular herb that 90% of people try first. 0% success rate. According to 2023 peer-reviewed research, basil roots in water at 70% success. But rosemary? Only 30% without one ingredient most people skip. I'll break down all 5 herbs, species by species, the 3 mistakes that kill your cuttings, and the 1 herb Oregon State says will never root in water. Not ever. First, why your grocery herbs keep dying within days. There is a biological spectrum that explains everything. Then, the 5-herb method. Each herb's species-specific tuning plus 3 beginner mistakes I'll show you, not just tell you. Finally, the exact step-by-step. $28 total, 10 minutes to build, 30 seconds a week, forever. Plus 1 herb that needs a secret ingredient or it fails half the time. This whole video is about 11 minutes. I'll move fast, species by species. Here's the thing. Not every cutting will root, but I'll show you exactly why, so you stop wasting money. Here's why this matters. USDA data shows the average American family wastes roughly $1,500 a year on food. And fresh produce, herbs, greens, fruit, accounts for 45% of that. Herbs hit hardest. You buy a $3 bunch. You use 2 sprigs for pasta. The rest turns to brown slime in the fridge by day 4. 5 herbs, $3 average per bunch, once a week. That's $780 a year, straight into the trash. And here's the thing. Grocery store herb bunches are sized for restaurants, not home cooks. You are structurally designed to overbuy and underuse. So why does an empty plastic bottle fix this? It's not magic. It's plant biology. And specifically, what I call the plant tissue response spectrum. Same setup, same tap water, same window, same bottle. But 4 completely different biological outcomes determined entirely by each herb's anatomy. Group 1, hyperresponse. Basil, mint, oregano. All Lamiaceae family, all herbaceous stems. Their nodes are loaded with natural rooting hormones called auxins. 7 to 15 days. Basically, minimal effort. Group 2, basal regeneration. Green onion doesn't root from the stem at all. It sprouts entirely from the white bulb base, the basal plate. 6 days. An extremely high success rate. Group 3, recalcitrant woody. Rosemary, lignified stem, low natural auxin. NC State research puts the success rate at just 30% without outside help. It needs a secret ingredient, and I'll show you exactly what in part 3. Environment is constant. Genetics is the variable. That is the single most important insight in this entire video. My grandmother kept a windowsill full of jars. green onion in one, basil in another, mint in a third. She built them once in 1962. They outlasted 3 kitchen remodels. When your neighbor pays $4 for a wilting bunch of basil, you walk to your window and cut exactly what dinner needs. Total cost? A plastic bottle from your recycling bin. That's it. Now, there's one herb that 90% of people try first in water. 0% success rate. And 3 mistakes that kill your cuttings before they ever get a chance to root. I'll show you exactly which one and exactly what those mistakes look like. Let's get into the 5-herb method. Let's run through all 5, fastest to slowest. The easier it roots, the less you do. You want lazy? Pick the ones at the top. Green onion. Cut the white base to 1 inch, drop it in water. 6 days to fresh shoots. An extremely high success rate. This is your starter herb. Basil. Cut 45 degrees just below a node. Strip the lower leaves into water. 7 to 15 days, 70%. One key move. Pinch the top tip. Don't pick individual leaves. That doubles your harvest. Mint. Same cut as basil. 7 to 14 days. Fair warning, mint is an invasive species. It will try to take over the bottle. Just let it. That's actually a feature. Oregano. Same family as basil and mint. Lamiaceae. Same cut. 7 to 14 days. Very high success. If you can root basil, you can root oregano. They're siblings. Rosemary. This one's different. Woody stem, slow rooting, only 30% without outside help. Prepare 2 to 3 backup cuttings. And it needs that secret ingredient I mentioned. I'll show you exactly what in part 3. Now, the herb that 90% of people try first and has a 0% success rate. Here's why. Cilantro. It's a taproot plant. 1 root growing straight down from the seed. It cannot produce adventitious roots from a stem cutting. This isn't user error. It is biologically impossible. Day 7. Every time, Oregon State and Iowa State both confirm it. Not every herb works in water. And telling you that is worth more than any gardening hack you'll find online. If a video guarantees cilantro in water, it hasn't done the research. You now know the 5-herb spectrum and the one that never works. In part 3, I'll show you the exact step-by-step assembly, the secret ingredient rosemary needs, and a pet safety warning about 2 of these herbs that almost no gardening channel mentions. But first, 3 mistakes that kill your cuttings before they ever root. I'm going to show you, not just tell you. Mistake 1. Chlorine toxicity. Tap water contains chlorine. It destroys the meristematic cells at the cut stem before roots can even begin to form. Bottle A. Fresh tap water. Direct. Bottle B. Same water, left uncovered 24 hours so the chlorine evaporates. Same herb, same window. Day 14. Bottle A. No roots. Stem starting to rot. Bottle B. White roots. Fix. Fill your water container tonight. Leave the lid off. Done. Mistake 2. Algal bloom. Clear plastic bottle plus windowsill light equals a miniature algae reactor. Algae steals dissolved oxygen from the water. Roots suffocate. Same cutting, same water, same window. 2 weeks. Clear bottle, green soup, dead stem. Foil-wrapped bottle, white root system. Wrap your bottles every single time. Mistake 3. Wrong cut location. Roots form at nodes, the joints on the stem where leaves attach. Cut between nodes and there is nowhere for roots to emerge. Cut 45 degrees just below the node. Strip every leaf that would sit below the waterline. Wet leaves rot. Rot spreads upward fast. Keep the water level below your lowest remaining leaf. That's the whole setup. 3 mistakes, 3 fixes. Now let's build the full system, step by step, herb by herb, including the one ingredient that doubles rosemary's survival rate. Let's go. Let's build it. Total cost the first time, $28. Here's everything you need. Free from your recycling bin. 5 PET bottles, aluminium foil or black tape, a pair of scissors. Tap water you left out overnight. Total $0. From the grocery store. 1 bunch each of green onion, basil, mint, oregano and rosemary. About $11 total. Pick bunches with long stems and visible nodes. No limp or bruised ones. Optional but worth it. IBA rooting hormone for rosemary, about $6. Hydroponic nutrients for after the roots establish, about $10. Total first time investment, $28. Quick but important before we build. Pet safety. Not every herb on this list is safe for animals. Basil and rosemary. A SPCA confirmed non-toxic to dogs and cats. Mint. Generally safe in small amounts. Oregano. GI irritant for cats. Keep it elevated. Green onion. Allium family. Toxic to both dogs and cats. Do not let pets eat these. One rule before we start, keep all 5 bottles on a high shelf, not a low counter, not the floor. High shelf. Herbs out of reach. Assembly. Wrap each bottle completely in foil or black tape. No light gaps. Fill with your overnight water, not fresh tap. Label each bottle with the herb name. Place them on a windowsill with bright, indirect light. Not harsh, direct sun, even through foil that raises water temperature and stresses roots. Bright but diffused is the sweet spot. Here's what to expect. Day 3. Tiny white root nubs at the base of the stem. Day 7. Roots 2 to 3 centimeters. Day 14. Harvest-ready basil, mint, oregano. Day 21 or beyond for rosemary, if IBA did its job. Now, planting each one. Green onion first. Trim the roots clean. Cut the white base to 1 inch. Straight into the water. That's it. Check back in 6 days. Basil. 45-degree cut just below a node. Strip all leaves below the waterline. 2 inches of bare stem in the water. Leaves completely clear of the surface. Mint, same as basil. Oregano, same cut, same rules, same timeline. If you can root basil, you can root both of these in your sleep. Rosemary. Here is the secret ingredient I've been promising. IBA, indole 3-butyric acid. It's the natural rooting hormone that rosemary's woody stem can't produce enough of on its own. $6. Available at any garden center or online. Dip the cut end into the IBA powder. Tap off the excess. Too much actually reduces rooting. Into the bottle and plant 2 or 3 backup cuttings alongside it. Rosemary rewards the patient. A lot of beginners tell me rosemary is the one herb they always fail at. This one step is why. Last thing, nutrients. Do not add them on day 1. New cuttings can't handle it. Osmotic stress kills the stem, and nutrients feed algae before roots even form. Wait until you see roots at least 5 centimeters long. When you do add them, a few drops per bottle, about 1/4 the label dose. Your herbs will tell you the rest. Pale leaves mean they're hungry. Brown tips on the edges mean a little too much. Adjust and move on. That is the complete system. 5 bottles, 1 afternoon. 30 seconds a week. Top up the water, snip what dinner needs. Let me leave you with the one thing that makes all of this click. Here's what you now know. Your grocery herbs keep dying because each species has a completely different biological response to the exact same setup. Not because you have a black thumb. 5 herbs, 5 bottles, 3 mistakes to avoid. 1 myth bust that will save you from ever wasting a cilantro cutting again. And a $28 system that runs on 30 seconds a week. Remember the question I asked at the start. Same water, same window, same bottle, 4 different results. Here's the answer. Environment is constant. Genetics is the variable. Basil and mint explode. Green onion regenerates from its base. Rosemary needs help. And cilantro? It was never going to work. Now you know. One thing before you go. Comment below right now. Which herb are you starting with tonight? Basil? Green onion? Rosemary? I read every single one. And download the free species-specific tuning chart in the description. Exact ppm, pH, and rooting timeline for all 5 herbs. It's your cheat sheet. And if you want to go deeper, my video on 7 plants you can grow in water forever has the highest average view duration on this entire channel. No soil, no back pain, and 1 plant that lives for decades. The first link in the description below. I'll see you there. 5 bottles, 5 herbs, 30 seconds a week. The laziest herb garden you will ever build. Happy gardening!